This has serious implications for the Chicago Bulls as the countdown to the NBA season is underway. The real question is, what will define a successful season for this team? Hi, I'm Shaquille Barnes here with another great episode of Bulls Digest, the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls. I also noticed that 67% of you guys have been watching the channel and have not subscribed. Treat it like the Bulls intro, run right through that subscribe button. That question dawned on me because we get to the point the NBA season is starting. With this young core, what will be a successful season for us? That is a genuine question. Is it championships? Is it actually making the playoffs? Is it still being a play-in team? Or is it being a lottery pick team, building up in the draft, building up the team, thinking about the future? When all aspects point to it, it's a lot of things you can break down from it. And I want to break down each one, and let's have a realistic aspect of it. And I was already in the process of recording this video. I stopped, had to re-record it because I had a notification on my phone that Bulls Media Day had happened. So I definitely wanted to see if it was some quotes or anything that I could get from our tourist or Billy Donovan that was going on during the time to see, will they actually give me a look, like a direction of maybe I can lean towards something. Now, I'm being honest with us. When we look at the Chicago Bulls team and how the team currently constructed, would I would love to win a championship? Yes. Would I think we win a championship? Probably not. But during one point in time of the season, we looked it good. We made a trade for Zach LaVine. Then we seen the Kobe White, Josh Giddey take off tremendously. And like I said, I did watch Bulls Media Day because our tourist definitely had a quote talking about the last 20 games of the Chicago Bulls. And he said, the last 20 games of the season gave us a glimpse of our future. We established our offensive identity. Most importantly, we demonstrated cohesion and we got better. We were 14th in offense and 9th in defense. Those numbers are encouraging. Now, from everything we did see for the last 20 games of the season, it was very encouraging to see that. But also, nobody expected the Chicago Bulls to be that good. We caught teams by surprise. We played differently. It was a whole different team, honestly. The play style even felt different. Josh Giddey brought a different dynamic. Kobe White made a big splash, and if he plays like that, he will be an all-star caliber player. And that gives us to the point of being a playoff team. I think if we play like we did the second half of the season, I can actually see us contending for a playoff spot and legitimately being a playoff team. You know, you got teams with injuries, and we know how certain teams might not look the same, especially the Celtics. You know, we got the Cavs dealing with little injuries. You got Philly, still got the same injury problems with Philly. And then we don't really know how Milwaukee's going to look without Dame Lillard. It's just going to be Giannis. I think Giannis is still going to make them, like, solid. But so the East is really up in the air at this point in time. And what would I want as a successful season? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, a championship would be great. But I'm being realistic. We're not a championship contending team. So now we can knock that bracket off the way and not even waste time and even getting into too much of that situation. Playoff team. Now, as a playoff team, I could definitely see the Chicago Bulls being a playoff team. And with us being a playoff team, and then we're expecting players like Josh Giddey to make that next step. And I think for us to be that playoff contending team, not a play-in playoff team, Josh Giddey, Kobe White will have to probably play at an all-star caliber level to get us there. But I can also speak for everybody who is a Bulls fan at this point in time. I think the main thing that we would really want is just a direction. A sense of direction with this team, sense of direction with the roster, sense of direction every year. Because the Bulls fans are one of the most loyal fan bases to a T. Even when we had Paul Zipser, Felicio starting, we were still top 5 in attendance. So the Bulls fans will rock with you. But genuinely speaking, you have to give us a direction. Enough is enough at anywhere at some point. If you have a 5-year plan and you let Bulls fans know, hey, look, in 5 years we planning for all this, we add these pieces and see what direction we're going to be, because at this point in time, guys become stars. We got draft capital. People will rock and support the team. We just don't want to be somewhere looking at this team and like, hey, one day we're saying we're contending. The next day we say we take it. The next day we just want to be 41-41. We just want to, like, that's the main problem. And that's the biggest problem that all Bulls fans deal with. So being a playoff team with the injuries to the Eastern Conference, how open East is, I think being a legit playoff team is realistic. Now, let's get to the one thing that a lot of Bulls fans do hate. It'll make a lot of people cry. It's being a play-in team. And that is it's a high chance that we could be a play-in team again. And we can all say, as Bulls fans, and are you truly a Bulls fan? One, we're tired of playing, and two, we're tired of playing the Heat in the play because we can't beat this team for some reason during that time. This prediction of the Bulls happening this season, I do not want it to happen because a lot of things comes with being in the play-in. And you know what those lot of things is? Nothing. You gain nothing in draft capital. You gain nothing in the process of the playoffs. You just get one extra game on the season. So that a lot of things that we gain is a lot of stress. And for the Chicago Bulls, you need to have the understanding that if we're not legitly contending for a playoff spot by All-Star break, you need to make a decision and dial it back. I don't like to say it in the T word, but at some point for the Chicago Bulls to grow, you got to add talent to this roster. I know everybody in Arturis even said it during the press conference that the free agency to 2026, I'm not high on that. I'm not sold on that. The Chicago Bulls have never built off this. The organization don't even run the ownership don't even run the organization like they're chasing big free agent. Honestly, it feels like the Chicago Bulls are a small market team. You would think we're in Charlotte or something. So if we run our organization like a small market team, all small market teams can build through the draft. They're going to build through the draft. That's it. For us to actually get talent on this roster, we got to be higher in the draft. We can't be mid-lottery. We can't be 15 to 30 on the pick all the time, or 10, 12. You got to get really lucky to get a guy like that. Or he turns into a star. Or you have to actually prep to develop this guy to be the next great guy. Now, we've seen it with Monty Buzelis. Monty Buzelis is looking like he could be the future of the team and the future star. But also, you have to show us as fans that, hey, once we actually have a star, we can actually build around him. But I do think we all can agree that we want to avoid the play-in situation. For me, it's either be a solid playoff team or the next best suggestion is to tank. And I know our tourists don't want to admit that tanking, because he kept saying the C word during this press conference. Competitive. But being competitive with no direction is dumb. I think the worst thing you could be in the NBA is middle of the pack. Middle of the pack is the worst you can be. Because you're spending money on players, you're not winning, and you're not getting no good draft capital. The future is not bright when you're middle of the pack. And that's the reality of the NBA. You want to either be competing at the top of the mountain or you want to be at the bottom. OKC is a perfect example of this. OKC was, I won't say tanking, but they wasn't at the top of the list. They found the guy, SGA, developed him. During that process of developing SGA, they were just gathering talent. Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren. Boom. Now, we got something. All right, let's add a Alex Caruso. Now we got the jail. Let's add a Hardenstein. Oh, now we championship competitive. I want to be competitive strategically. If we are competitive strategically, I'm down. But Arturis definitely has high hopes for this team because on another note quote that he had said, he said, at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to win the championship. But we're in a position where we have to focus on our growth and what we done well last year and what we need to do this year, Connoisseur said. And I agree. Everybody wants to win a championship, but we have to grow into that championship caliber team. What also help you grow into that championship caliber team is make a direction, have a plan, and follow the play. Even when, because it is, I guarantee you, during the OKC process, we probably didn't pay too much into it because it was OKC and they didn't really get that big of media attention. But I guarantee it was bumps in the road, but they did not change their direction. We have to keep a direction and stay forward to that. And I think if we do that, the Chicago Bulls will be fine. So my prediction, way too early prediction, and what I feel like will be a successful season for the Chicago Bulls, in my honest opinion, is that we finish bottom of the pack and get a high lottery pick. That'll be fine for me. That will be a successful season. And also, actually be a legit playoff team. A legit playoff team. If we are not competing as a legit playoff team, we need to pull the plug, go get some more talent. This is the year where we got a lot of guys at the wing position. We got a guy in Kobe White whose contract up, and he's going to want a lot of money. We just paid Josh Giddey. We got a vet in Nikola Vucevic who's on a roster that we need to get rid of. But when it comes to this young pot of young talent, it's make or break. We need to find the guys who actually fit what we want to do to be able to compete for a championship. And we got to weed out the guys who's not going to help us compete for a championship. Everything is about growth. That is a successful season for the Chicago Bulls. Growth. But I want you guys to comment down below. Let me know, what would you consider a successful season? Is it playoffs, play-in team, draft, or just simply having an actual direction with the team? Let me know. Comment down below. This is Shaq Barnes. It's been another great episode of Bulls Digest, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.